Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast once again. I really appreciate the support on this on this podcast. I have really built up a great following on different platforms that I have to admit I haven't been paying attention to a lot of the all of the different platforms, and I'm talking about there's like 400 subscribers or something like that over on Castbox or close to it by now. And I'm like, man, I don't really pay attention to all of the different platforms and how many subscribers there are. And they seem to be split up in different places. And, however you get this podcast and the different apps and things that you guys are using to hear my program. So I appreciate, and I apologize honestly to the people that are on some of the more off the beaten path, I'll say, platforms that I just don't always pay attention the way that I should. But I wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of a shout out because I think that you guys are just as important. So I really appreciate it. So however you tune in, whether it's through Spotify or Apple or however I know there's a bunch of people over on iHeartRadio as well that hear me through there. So I am super, super grateful about that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So my topic today is not going to be a long one, but I kind of wanted to give you some kind of insight. If you hear a little wind or whatever, I'm sometimes outside, doing my podcast as well. It's a little warm today. Well, that's an understatement. It feels like it's like 90 something degrees, but it's like upper 80s, but it feels like 10 degrees hotter. But we out here surviving in the Northeast. We're going to have like a few days of some hot weather going on. So the heat index right now, I think it's 98 or 99. So it's a little humid. It's a little sticky outside, but we gonna get through it because I think this is the last of the real heat summer. And then I was looking at the Farmer's Almanac, and I think the second week of August is like, I don't even know if it's going to go up to 85, which is so unlike for the tri-state area. So pretty crazy. But yes, today's subject, I wanted to talk about content creation. And I had a conversation with a client of mine that, I still do have a handful of clients that have their 9-to-5 job, and their business, their small business that they run is their side hustle. I have clients where their side hustle is almost outweighing their 9-to-5. So they gonna have to make some decisions. And I know they listen to my shows and they know who they are. They're gonna have to start making some decisions on whether they are going to continue on in their 9-to-5 going into 2027 and even beyond that. So I'm always proud when that happens, because it means that your side hustle is now sustaining your life. It's paying your mortgage, it's paying your rent, it's paying your car note, it's taking care of your children, it is putting your young adults through college, whatever it is. I think it's amazing when your dream job, side hustle, small business is able to do that, or maybe you're in the 9-to-5 world and you've achieved your dream job in the 9-to-5 world that you have always wanted, or the position that you were going for, and it fairly compensates you to be able to sustain your life. It's wonderful to love your job, and it also pays you what you're worth. It's an amazing thing. But I wanted to talk about content creation, because when you have a 9-to-5 job, it is very hard to carve out time to do content. And one thing that I did say to my client, because they have a very hard time, their schedule is crazy. They don't get off of work until late night. So it's very, very tough for them to create content. So what I said was, on your lunch breaks, create content on your downtime. So when you get a lunch break or whatever it is that you have during the day, make content then. If you're getting ready in the morning and you're putting on your lotion and, your perfume or whatever, that is content, especially if that's what you sell in your business. Okay, so if you sell perfume, if you sell lotions or body butters or anything of that sort, when you're getting ready in the morning and you're using your own products, just set the camera up to the side and get that and film the content. So in other words, film what you already do in your routine. If you're a foodie person, if you are a chef and you're like, oh, I'm a chef, but I don't know how to create all that content that those chefs do on Instagram and TikTok and all that sort of stuff, I get it. So if you are not into the whole production of things, set up your camera to the side on your countertop and videotape you making food. You don't even have to put music to it. You don't even have to do that. All you have to do is get the content together. If you want to talk, if you feel comfortable enough speaking and walking through the steps of what you're doing, maybe occasionally you show the canister of the sauce that you're using, or the seasoning that you're using, or the blend that you're using. You tip the jar, the cup forward and show what's in your bowl, or whatever the thing is. Even if you don't want to do all of that, just prepare that meal, set the camera up in a way that people can see what's going on, prepare the meal, and then you can put music in the background. You can do a voiceover after the fact. So some people are not comfortable to speak in the moment while they are doing things, like how you watch cooking shows and things like that. So film it in silence. Just film it normal. You don't have to talk. Don't say anything. You can put music to the background, or you can do a voiceover where you film it in silence, watch the video, and then talk about each of the stuff. Okay, you see in the video here, this is where I'm adding the Himalayan salt. Okay, if you look right here, this is where I'm chopping up the potatoes. Okay, make sure you're dicing them up in little squares or whatever. There's always ways to create. And also voiceovers are great for things because you get to think it through and you get to make corrections. And if you're not good at like talking on the spot, that may be the way to go. All right. If you really don't want to do any talking or anything like that, just put it like an overhead camera or whatever, or something that's kind of tipped up a little bit that can see what you're doing in your pot, whatever it is that you're mixing together or doing. Do that and then put music. The Instagram library, the TikTok library, they all have their own music. Put the music on it. Keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? There's always ways to create content. But like I said before, if you have a routine of what you do and you're going to use your own products in your routine that you normally do every day, just set the camera up and turn it on. That's it. If you are a vlogger and you're showing, your day, a day in the life of an entrepreneur, what I used to do sometimes, and I think I told this story before, but I'll tell it again for the people that may not have, heard all of my podcast episodes. What I used to do is when I used to go check my P.O. box, like literally I'm going to UPS to check my P.O. box. And then what I would do is I would put my camera on my dashboard of my car. And I would turn the camera, turn the vantage point of the camera so it's videotaping where I'm driving, and people be like, oh my God, I know where you are. I know what street you're on, all that sort of stuff. And then I would flip it around to me, and I would have people in the chat. I would go live sometimes, but I would make sure to videotape them. You know what I'm saying? And people were interested. At one point, people didn't even know. I didn't really show my face like that. But one point, people didn't even really know much about it. They would see my shoes, that because I wear Chucks all the time, sneakers and things like that, or my sandals or flip-flop. They're looking at my feet, getting out of the car, walking to the UPS to open up my P.O. box. And there are like dozens of people in the chat. What are they looking at? Why is that interesting? Because it's showing that we are all really the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really are not that much different. They just want to be, and it could just be out of sheer nosiness. Okay, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? That's my routine most of the time. So all I did was turn on the camera for what I normally do all the time. So just remind yourself, even set up an alarm. You get up 8 o'clock in the morning, or however time you get up, just show your routine. If you're a skincare person and you have skincare products, or you represent a skincare product company, videotape, put the camera on a tripod and videotape you doing your facial scrubs and putting on your bio oils and all the things that, all the skincare gurus do. It's not that hard, and you don't have to be a professional at it. Just do the things that you normally do. Just hit record on the camera, because then you don't have to create extra content, because you're already doing that. If you cook every night for your family and you are showcasing food on your social media, that's an easy way. Just show yourself cooking dinner. If you don't want to show your whole self, like I said, you can set up the camera, tilt it over a little bit to the pots that are on the stove, and all they see is your hands. They don't even need to see your face. It's faceless content that's easy to make, because it is just you doing what you normally do in your everyday routine. So, for my 9-to-5ers who are still working on their side hustles, trying to make their side hustle the main hustle, or sometimes they're trying to stack their paper so that they have both of them going on at the same time. Do not worry yourself about creating content. If you can even get one good video done a week, that's something. That's somewhere to start. But start from the routine that you already do. Just turn on the camera. So hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully this gives people some ideas about how they can create content without having to set aside time to create content. Whatever you do in your routine every day, make content out of that. Even if the routine that you're doing is brushing your teeth, and that has nothing to do with what you sell, but you can just have the video and have a voiceover, or do like a filter over it that has wording talking about your coaching services, or whatever it is that you are bringing to the table with your side hustle. A day in the life type stuff is very relatable. So don't underestimate your daily routine and recording something from your daily routine. I hope this is helpful to you guys. Get on your content creation game, and I promise you, if you already have a routine and you turn on the camera, you don't have to worry about setting aside separate times to create content. Work it into what you already do, and hopefully that will get your creative juices going to get used to and comfortable with the camera. All right. Hopefully that was helpful. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in again. Bye.